Hello, everyone. Suppose now that I know where I need it to go. All right, so I'm gonna try and not fail this time. I haven't tried this experiment yet, but the one before I tried, big failure. Anyway, for this one we're gonna do a stoplight reaction, which is kind of like a redox indicator reaction thing. I don't know, but it's pretty cool. I'm not really gonna have the kids fully understand it. I think it's more just to get them curious and ask questions, that sort of thing. So anyway, we're gonna use dextrose, which looks like that, kind of cool. Indigo carmine, and I got it in this little bottle here, and I guess I didn't know I had to put it into a solution. So I made this 1% solution, like 200 mils or whatever. And then sodium hydroxide, which is a very strong base. I think it's 13 on the pH scale. It's kind of cool, little pellets. And then 250 milliliters of distilled water. I'm going to put that in this flask, which is kind of dirty, but I can't get it any cleaner than it is. So there's that. And then a stopper that I'm going to have to put in backwards because I don't have one big enough. It kind of works. Sort of. But just going to follow along. It might take a little longer than usual because it's the first time I'm doing it, but we'll see how it goes. Put you there. Excellent. Alright. Goggles on. Should have probably adjusted these beforehand. Good. Alright. So first, I'm going to add the water to the flask. And it looks like I should have maybe doubled the batch for this big of a flask, but that's okay. Maybe a quick check. Alright. So, I'm going to add the 3 grams of dextrose to the flask. And then I'm going to stir until that's dissolved. By stir, I mean, see if I can make it so this doesn't just fall out, you know? Have to give me a break here. Fully dissolved. Perfect. Alright. Then I'm going to add the sodium hydroxide. Sodium hydroxide. This is 5 grams. There we go. And this is supposed to dissolve as well. So while that's working on that, I'm going to measure out 10 milliliters of indigo carmine. Hard to pour. I mentioned indigo carmine is an indicator. If it's below a pH of 11.4 or something like that, it turns blue. And if it's higher than that, at like 13-ish, which is what the sodium hydroxide is at, which is interesting, then it turns yellow. And it's used in medical field. They want to find the urinary tract because obviously urine is going to make it turn blue, so it's easier to see. That sort of stuff. That's kind of cool, I thought. Something sort of interesting. It said to prepare this before the demonstration, but I'm doing all the steps so that I kind of have a record of it. So, there you go. What else can I talk about? It's almost fully dissolved. Alright. I was supposed to use a stirring rod to make this dissolve quickly, but I mean it's dissolving fairly quickly. Now I put the indigo carmine in, which is a very dark blue color. And then I stopper it. And then I'm supposed to let it sit. Let's just get everything in there. Alright. So all that's sitting, I'm going to do. Supposed to be a yellow color. Okay, so I'm going to try and explain this. Now, there's a reaction occurring inside the flask that is taking the oxygen out of the solution, and the indigo carmine, when there's oxygen present, also turns kind of a bluish color. So when the oxygen leaves, it turns yellow. Is kind of my understanding. So it says wait a couple minutes, and then it'll slowly start to become clear, or yellowish clear. No, not clear, yellow. and then red, and then blue, which is kind of greenish. You know? Stoplight. Get it? Anyway. So that's kind of the idea. Hopefully the stopper is working effectively. I think it is. You can see, you can kind of see that it's changing color a little bit. It's not nearly as dark as it was, and I probably didn't need to shake it up right away. So yeah, there's that. What else can I talk about? Make it kind of like an update. I got a bunch of chemicals in earlier this week, and I tried an experiment on Wednesday or Tuesday. Must be Thursday today. Anyway, so I use another indicator. It's a universal indicator, and it gives you a much wider range of values for pH. So the lower ones are, I believe, well, neutral is green, and as it becomes more acidic, it turns red, and it becomes darker the more basic it is. So it kind of gives it a little wider range. And what I would like to do for a demonstration is either during Halloween or when we're talking about acids and bases, use the large graduated cylinder we have. It's fairly large, or find a tube somewhere at a hardware store. I don't know, and then put just water and that universal indicator in there. And then once I drop a piece of dry ice, it will start to create some little CO2, which makes the water slightly more acidic because carbonic acid, and kind of like what's in pop, and it'll slowly change it to that reddish pink color, and it's a lot more gradual that way. It's kind of cool because it starts from the bottom and it slowly goes up, and then there's the effect of the fog and stuff, which is really cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of things I want to do for Halloween, mainly with dry ice. There's a thing where it's actually, I wonder if I can do this. Make it a little bit more obvious. So, where it's a vortex type thing, where you have a cup, a solo cup, and you put a plastic sandwich bag over the part you drink out of, make a little hole in the bottom, and when you tap on it, it creates a pressure and it forces the air out of this hole, and the air on the inside is moving faster than the air on the outside, creating a vortex. And with the dry ice fog in there, it kind of, you can see the rings as it moves, and it's very slow and it's very cool. And I've seen a lot of different variations of it with just a cup or a one of the big 5-gallon buckets or a garbage can even. They make huge ones. So that's really cool, and that's something I want to try. I think the kids would enjoy and like learning about. Well, we can see it's starting to get more orange. It said about 5 to 10 minutes, so it's only been, maybe 5 minutes. So there's that. What else? Oh, the bubble thing, where you have dry ice in this little cup, or you can have it in a big bowl, and you have a piece of cloth, maybe a shoelace or something, and you dip that into some soapy water, really kind of concentrated soapy water, and you drag it across the top of the lid, and it creates a film, just like a bubble, and it slowly builds up, and then it pops and it flies everywhere. So that'd be kind of cool too. Thinking we should probably try it now, so it's not extremely long. I don't want to have to break it up into two if I don't have to, but if I do, whatever. So the idea is that I would take this and say that this would be the yellow, the orange in the stoplight, and I would shake it once, you know, it turns a little bit darker red, something like that, and then I would shake it. And it turns green. Really green. There we go. Perfect. And you're supposed to be able to do this several times, and it's kind of fun. And there's other ones that I'd like to try as well. It's the clock reactions, where it's like, I think it's an iodine solution or something like that, and you add 3 things together and mix it together, and then all of a sudden it's like, bam, it's black. So I'm going to have to do that one as well, if I can get all the materials for it. So that's this reaction. It'll slowly go back to the way it was. And this is something I would have the kids use the scientific method. They would ask a question, you know, why does it do this? Why does it change colors 3 times? And they would have to make a hypothesis, try and make an educated guess of why it does that. And it's because of the airs mixing into the water, it changes the color. And since I only do it a little bit the first time, that indicator only shifts a little bit. But when I shake it up, then the air gets really into the system and it shifts it even further. So yeah, this will probably be the 2nd week or something like that. But that's this whole project, or not project, whole lab, and I think that's where we'll go ahead and end it.